Hi everyone! Today I'm going to tell you how I grow pomegranates from seed. And it's so easy, so please watch and please share. So this way people aren't throwing away their pomegranate seeds. They'll be growing pomegranates. It's pomegranate season here in California and probably is all over the US and maybe in other areas. Did you know that it's so easy to grow a pomegranate tree? I grew them accidentally one year without thinking about it. I didn't even know what to do with them. And let me show you the pomegranates growing. Let's scoot down here. In this pot where a tomato seed came up, look at that. This is a pomegranate tree growing, and here's another one. There's two of them growing in here. And let's see, let's go a little further down, because I think I have another place. So all my things growing on my deck that I did not set up this year. And look at this. Now, let me move my hummingbird cup because I didn't need it this morning. Look at this. These are all baby pomegranates coming up. See all this? That is all pomegranate. Let me get you in here. Pomegranate trees. All through here are pomegranate trees, and I even have them in more places. Let me show you down here in this flower pot. See this green patch here? Yep. There's probably a couple dozen pomegranate trees. That's a tomatillo. Fell off from here, and it's going to probably end up growing like the pomegranates in there. Let's move some of this brown stuff off my parsley. Remember, we never throw anything away. But look at this. This is all pomegranates. It was the funniest thing a couple years ago. I came out here, see, here's a pomegranate I did not eat. This is old. I don't even know if there's anything worth saving in there. I can open it up later and see. Oh, actually, it's soft enough to open. But that's not how I planted it. Now I'm going to get my hands all dirty, and I'm using one hand to hold the camera and one hand to try to open this. Probably open it later. But what I did, let's see, you know, there are seeds in there and they still have the red pulp around it. Is that something? This is from last year. Those seeds are viable. Okay, I might open that up and just sit it in a pot. And some of these look like they have roots starting already. Those pomegranates from last year. Okay, what I did it wasn't last year, it was the year before, is I like pomegranates and I don't eat the seeds. So I had a whole bowl, I would chew on it and spit the seeds out in the bowl, and I had a whole bowl and I spit them out here because I wasn't really thinking growing them. I was thinking more composting. So I put them all over in my containers out here and just spit them out and dug them in the ground. Well, lo and behold, come spring, I ended up with hundreds of pomegranate plants. They were all over the place. Well, I thought I didn't want them. So I started pulling them out and I started laying them down. Well, I actually stuck them in a pot, but with no soil or anything. You know, those things stayed alive for almost 2 months because there was enough dampness in the air and there was probably a little bit of water in the pot. It kept them alive and they kept coming up and coming up. And I ended up with all these pomegranate trees. And as seedlings, they're really tough. Really tough. You can just pull them out, move them somewhere, and they will do great. So I go online on my account, my eBay account, and I see people selling them. So I threw them up there at a good price, and I could not believe I sold them all. And there I am, running all over, looking for all the little pomegranates that I had pulled out earlier. Sad to say, a lot of them were little corpses laying around now because I literally was pulling them out. It was driving me crazy there were that many. So what I wanted to point out to you now I'm not even trying to grow them, but I guess the seeds are coming up even that was left over from last year. See, this is a year-old pomegranate. And those seeds inside are still, they don't look good, but I bet you those things are going to grow. because it's doing what it's supposed to do. Mother Nature will lay there until the time is right. Now that I've opened it, I'm going to have to get them into the soil. But that's what would happen is an animal would come, puncture open the pomegranate, eat some of the stuff, probably eat the seeds and all, and then go run off somewhere and poop it out, goes through their system, and you'll have pomegranates growing places you didn't even have any pomegranates before. That's how easy it is to grow. And I'm not telling you to go poop it out. No. I would say if you want to grow pomegranates, chew it up, do it the way you want, and take the seeds. Don't worry about the pulp. You don't need the pulp for this. Put it in a flower pot like I did, and just keep it wet, and you're going to be amazed. You're going to have so many. You can be giving them to friends. You might be doing what I did. I was pulling my hair out trying to get rid of them in the beginning because there were so many growing. But like I said, I found out that they were so easy to pop out. They have a long root. What you see up on top is at least as long underneath, and you could just wrap them in a paper towel and then hand them to your friends. You know, wet paper towel if you were going to give them away or do whatever you want with them. But they are the easiest seeds to grow, provided they didn't come from a state, you know, where maybe it came into your state and they were radiated. Now, anything radiated will no longer grow. I don't know if they ever radiate pomegranates, but it's just that if you ever had a problem not being able to go to the grocery store, buy something and grow it, then you've got the possibility that it was radiated. It came someplace from, you know, a different place where either another country or whatever, and they weren't sure on pests, and what they do at that point is they radiate it. So there was some sweet potatoes, certain type of sweet potato my husband wanted to grow, and no matter what, he could never grow them. And we found out that they were coming from, those were coming from Hawaii, and when they reached the U.S. here, mainland, they were radiating it. So no matter what you did, there would not be a single one because they actually killed it. It was dead. It was radiated, so you could not grow it. But pomegranates, and I don't know if they ever radiate them, as long as they were never radiated, you should be able to eat your pomegranate, enjoy it, and put the seeds, as many as you want, in a flower pot, and then just let them grow. I can show you around the garden some of the places I planted them. I've got them like 1 and 2 years old because I started putting them in the ground. I didn't know what to do with them. It was so funny. Ended up selling them, and it worked out really, really well. I did not sell any this year. I didn't do that. Obviously, I left them here when I ate them, and some of them did get put in my compost bins. That's right. That's why I see pomegranates coming up in different places in my compost bins. I forgot about that. So the seeds themselves are tough, so they don't compost because they're not dying in the compost that I make, because my compost bins are cold. Cold compost doesn't kill anything. Hot composting, which I do not do, it's a lot more work. It's not my cup of tea. That would kill the seeds because that kills everything in there. So when you're cold composting, that's why you'll end up with papayas growing and seeds growing, because the seeds just love cold compost. So I wanted to share that with you today in case you're starting to buy pomegranates, or, you know, and just take the seeds, put them in a flower pot, keep them wet, don't let them dry out, and they're going to be happy little campers, and they're going to be coming up. You're going to end up with pomegranates, and you can give them away. And I see people with full hedges of pomegranates growing. So with that, we'll go take a peek in the garden, and I'll show you a few that I actually did plant. I've got one that's got pomegranate flowers on it right now, and we'll take a look and see what's going on, and that's it. So let's go see the ones I've got in the garden. And again, grow a pomegranate tree. Give them away for the holidays or whatever. Oh, Valentine's Day. Just think, you put it in a little pot and say, here, a red sweet gift, because they do grow red fruit. Okay, let's go out in the garden and go see the pomegranates that I planted. I guess it's going on 2 years for one, and I got one going a year. Even here in the front garden, look at this. Growing here. Must have come up in my compost. This is another pomegranate growing right next to the celery. So those are so easy to pop out. It's almost impossible to kill them. I had popped out a whole bunch and laid them all over and went back and planted them later, like days, a week later, and they were still alive. I'm not saying to do that because that's when I didn't want them, but Look at that. They come up everywhere, and that is a pomegranate. Now here's a big pomegranate tree back here. It's growing like a bush because I haven't trimmed it. It's growing behind the elephant food. I stuck it there. That's one of the seedlings I grew, and this is growing right next to the papayas. This came up from seed and it's got fruit. It had fruit on it last year. That's right. This one is just 2 years old. Squirrels grabbed it off before we did. So I'll see if I even get that one. I should put a little tool around that. And then there's another one. Let's walk over here, back here, see? And I put that one in there. And I didn't trim it like a tree. I left it so it's very bushy. Had I trimmed it up, it would have forced it to get taller and bigger like a tree. But I left it. This is fine. This one I think I planted last year because I planted one and then the other. And then there's one more over by the truck bed. And we'll go look at that. It's so easy to grow them. And this one I stuck in here. I think I stuck it in last year, but I don't take care of it. So it's not getting much water. I water the truck bed and I sometimes water this. I believe this one got chewed by rabbits at first and then they left it alone. So there it is. I don't even know if I want it there. But this is how easy it is to grow pomegranates from seed. You just eat your fruit, enjoy it, and spit it out. As long as the fruit hasn't been irradiated. Now sometimes some of the seeds will grow and some of them won't if it has been. You have nothing to lose. Try it. Okay, now let's go see one more thing that Gary did, but not buy seeds. And here we are. Now these trees, there's one here, there's another one here, see there, and a smaller one there. These 3 pomegranate trees were not grown from seed, but actually Gary took cuttings, and just simple cuttings, put them in a pot, kept them well watered, they rooted, so this is from, taking a branch. And there it is. So there are multiple ways of growing pomegranate trees. So if you've got a friend or a neighbor that's got a pomegranate tree, take a few cuttings, stick it in a pot with some good soil, and just keep it watered and see if they make it. So that is a pomegranate tree grown from cuttings. And look at that. Look at the pomegranate on it. Look at that. See? From a cutting. They're just starting to turn red here, so we don't have ripe ones yet. It's a little early in the season for us, but you may have pomegranates. So remember, when you eat that pomegranate, and if you're not eating the seeds, I don't eat the seeds, spit them out, throw them in a flower pot, and see what grows. Just throw them in there. You can always separate them. Once the babies start coming from the seeds, they grow, you can actually separate them so easily. It's no big deal. So you can grow 100 of them in one small pot, take them out, start separating them, and transplant them when they're like 1 to 2 inches tall. So that's the 3 pomegranate trees growing from cuttings. So try growing some pomegranates if you like pomegranates, and especially if you're eating them anyways. Just either throw it in your compost and put that compost towards the top in wherever you're putting it, and it will grow in the compost, or just throw some seeds in a flower pot with some soil and keep it wet. It's that easy and fun, and they're tough little plants when they first come out, and they're beautiful plants too, shiny green. They grow really quick. A lot of fun. So try it, and please, if you want, like and subscribe and share this with your friends. Bet your kids will get a kick out of that too. So with that, have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.